Good morning. My name is Tara Washburn. I'm a student in the 2019 Fall Ethical and Legal Issues in Counseling course at Liberty University Online. This week's discussion is in regard to counselor competence and wellness. And the first question listed is, what are the most common reasons for a board to discipline a counselor, and what is your personal reaction as you read through it? So mine was for the Texas State Board Examiners of Professional Counselors, and I initially found a greater number of actions relating to supervisory requirements, whether it be not fulfilling your obligations or not having somebody licensed as a supervisor. However, by the time I made it halfway through the counselor name starting with a B, my attention was redirected to Title 22 of the Texas Administrative Code, Part 30, Chapter 681, Subchapter C, the Code of Ethics. Um, this part was regarding number 41 under that Code of Ethics, General Ethical Requirements. So, while various sections of the Texas Board's Code of Ethics were cited as reasons for disciplinary actions, subsections 41L and 41M of 681 state a licensee, must set and maintain professional boundaries, and except as provided by this subchapter, non-therapeutic relationships with clients are prohibited. So I did a search of the list and found that enforcement actions on this subsection were triple the next largest subset of actions taken. Found 150 actions using a search on point 41 and 49 actions on searching point 45, which was the next one I came across, the next highest amount I came across. Subsection 681.45 still falls under the umbrella of the Code of Ethics, but more specifically under confidentiality and required reporting. Following these were supervisory requirements, sexual misconduct, and required application materials. So I was amazed at the length of the list of actions, but then I realized that these actions go back for nearly 20 years. I found only 17 listed for 2019, which is a relatively small number considering there are nearly 27,000 licensed professional counselors in the state. It surprised me that the number of counselors um, over this 20-year time frame that failed to set and maintain professional boundaries was so high. The next question was, how might self-care or lack thereof result in counselor impairment? Self-care encompasses physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. If one does not take care of themselves, then they are not going to be in the best position to assist others. So self-care is very important if you expect to be able to help people. Like they say, you can't take care of yourself, or you can't take care of others if you don't take care of yourself first. So that is something that's very important. Um, the next was, what does the ACA Code of Ethics say about counselor wellness and impairment? So the ACA Code of Ethics addresses impairment in subsection C2G and states that counselors will monitor themselves for signs of impairment and that they will seek assistance for problems that reach professional impairment. They will restrict their professional responsibilities up to and including termination until responsibilities can be safely resumed. Um, while we don't want any harm to come to the counselor themselves through not maintaining their well-being, but we also want to make sure that no harm comes to the client. The subsection also states that counselors are to assist their peers in recognition and or consultation regarding their own impairment in order to help prevent harm to clients. So if we see that someone is in need of help, that they have reached the point where they are impaired, it is our responsibility to step in and say, hey, what's going on? What can we do to help? And help them redirect towards a place of self help. The Texas Administrative Code, um, the Code of Ethics under subsection 68141 DD, states that a licensee must not provide services while impaired. The definition appears to be left open for interpretation, considering that there are many forms of impairment. These can vary from the influence of substances, whether legal or illegal, to sleep deprivation, to personal conflict, and more. The last question is, what is a question this brings to mind for you? A question this exercise brings to mind for me goes back to the disciplinary actions taken by the state. Um, What is the best way to keep professional boundaries? I currently work in banking, and when someone sits down and pours their heart out to me, that's usually it. They leave, we handle their business, they leave, they come back another time to do whatever it is they need doing, and we don't necessarily get back into what we've talked about before. Granted, that is not a counseling office. However, some people just sit down and randomly open up. Um, when working with children at church, however, I find it difficult to not get attached. We sit down and discuss why they may be acting up or just talk about how their week went. And they simply appreciate the attention. And so I wonder, how do you not get attached and how do you keep them from getting attached? That to me is something that is going to be a struggle once I do get to that point. Thank you for watching, and God bless.